The Schluter-DITRA-HEAT Installation Handbook includes comprehensive installation guidelines and warranty criteria for the system. After finding the applicable detail and confirming that all requirements can be met, we start planning the required materials and quantities. Tape has been applied to the floor and the areas where fixtures such as vanities and the toilet will be located. The DITRA-HEAT or DITRA-HEAT Duo uncoupling membrane is applied wherever tile is to be installed, typically over the entire floor. Measure the floor surface to receive tile and calculate the corresponding area. Select a sufficient quantity of membrane to cover the area. The heating cables may be installed to produce customized zones or throughout the room. Unlike the membrane, heating cables must be spaced a minimum of 2 inches from walls, fixtures, and fixed cabinets, 8 inches from other heat sources, such as baseboard heaters, other fixed heating devices, or fireplaces, 7 inches from the center line of toilet drains, and 4 inches from plumbing drains and forced air heating ducts. Measure the section or sections to be heated and calculate the corresponding area. Select the heating cable that most closely matches but does not exceed the area to be heated. For example, if a 35 square foot area is to be heated, select the heating cable with 32 square foot coverage rather than the heating cable with 37 1/2 square foot coverage. The cable cannot be trimmed or shortened to fit. Any excess cable can be installed in a buffer zone. This is an area where floor warming wasn't planned and space for cable overrun was provided. For example, behind a toilet or adjacent to a door opening. Heating cables may also be installed 6 inches from the wall to create a buffer zone. In the case where there is excess heating cable and no space left in the buffer zone, the cable may be removed and reinstalled at an alternating 3-stud, 2-stud, 3-stud spacing. This can be done in the buffer zone or in localized areas where extra heat output may be desirable, such as in front of vanities or bathtubs. The heating cable shall not be installed at a 2-stud spacing in succession or at a 1-stud spacing, period. All other spacing requirements, for example from fixtures, heating sources, and plumbing drains, still apply. Visit Schluter.com to use our DITRA-HEAT calculation sheet and our online DITRA-HEAT calculator to help with your project layout. The electrical preparation has already been completed. A dedicated circuit has been run to the thermostat electrical box. A branch circuit, taken from an existing circuit providing power to other room heating devices, would have been acceptable as well. A single-gang deep electrical box or a double-gang electrical box with a single-gang mud ring is recommended to provide room for the wiring. The junction box must be sized according to the electrical code effective in your region and must consider the possible use of pigtails and the space occupied by the rear section of the thermostat. When using the DITRA-HEAT thermostats, the preparation includes the following. Install 1 or 2 sections of conduit from the electrical box to a hole at the base of the wall. The heating cable cold lead will run through a conduit, while the floor temperature sensors need to be threaded either inside the same conduit as the cold lead or in a separate conduit. Please note that the floor temperature sensors must be tested using an ohm meter or multimeter to verify accuracy prior to installation. The resistance will vary according to the ambient temperature. Connect the meter to the sensor leads and compare the measurement with the expected values in the heating cable tests log. Record the actual temperature and measured resistances in the tests log. Now, we're ready to prepare for the membrane installation. The substrate must be clean, even, and load-bearing. Any leveling of the subfloor must be done prior to installing DITRA-HEAT or DITRA-HEAT Duo. Sweep the floor to remove any debris. For wood substrates, verify that subfloor panels are properly fastened to framing members. Tightly butted or tented seams must be addressed prior to installation. For concrete substrates, remove any films or curing compounds by grinding. If the concrete is particularly dry or porous, moisten it to help prevent premature drying or skinning of the bond coat. Any standing water must be removed prior to installation. Clean any dust from the substrate with a damp sponge. Measure and cut the matting using a utility knife or scissors. The planning and preparation are now complete.